welcome to my workshop. As you can see, it's a bit of a mess. I've got a number of projects here that I'm working on. I hope to show you a few of them and tell you a little bit about them. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Steve Iverson. Many of you know me as CultTVman on the internet. That's www.culttvman.com. CultTVman Science Fiction Modeling is the biggest and best website on the internet for building science fiction models. There's literally 1,000 pages of material there. We cover everything from science fiction movies and TV like Star Trek and Star Wars to the old Aurora monster models. So come on by and take a look. Let me show you a few of the kits that I've been working on. This is the Andrea Miniatures Caped Crusader model. It's a 54mm metal figure that's quite small. Andrea Miniatures produces a series of figures in this scale. Many of them are movie-based, including Terminator and RoboCop, as well as Zorro. So they're well worth checking out. They run about $25–30. Another model on my workbench is the Cyclops from the Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. This kit is produced by Geometric out of Minneapolis. I don't believe it's produced any longer, but you can still find them. It's a pretty impressive kit and will make a very nice build-up when that's done. I'm working on the Phantom. This is the Ghost Who Walks, Lee Fawkes comic strip character. This figure is done by Action Hobbies. It's a resin figure. It needs a little bit of work as the casting was a little rough. There was a number of air bubbles. Anyone who's worked with resin figures in the past knows what I'm talking about. Over into the sci-fi end of things, another kit that I'm working on is this Vacuform kit from Sci-Fi Miniatures. It comes in 2 sheets of plastic. Vacuform kits are a little unique. They require a little bit of special skills. You have to be very careful how you remove the parts from the plastic, how you glue them together, how you support them internally. This is far more accurate than the old AMT Romulan Bird of Prey kit. It comes with this nice full-page colored decal sheet. This is very closely based on the Mike McCaster blueprints that came out in the early 1980s, maybe even the late 1970s, which are far more accurate than that old AMT kit. Another project I'm about to get started on is this resin Galileo shuttlecraft. This is produced by Resin Ranger. It's in scale with the old AMT kit, and again it is far more accurate. It has a full interior, seats, control panels. It's a beautiful piece of resin. This kit is available from Resin Ranger. It runs about $70. And for anyone who's wanted an accurate Star Trek shuttlecraft, this is the kit to get. I started building model kits when I was 6 years old. The first kit I actually built was an Apollo lunar module, probably about 1968 when man was getting ready to go to the moon. Probably influenced my interests in science fiction. The first sci-fi kit I built was the same one many of us built, the USS Enterprise, the original 18-inch AMT model kit. That's long since gone. In fact, I don't ever know that it was completed. Since then, I've gone on to build a whole variety of figures and spaceship kits, and I'll show you a few of them. This is the Aurora Batman kit, reissued by MPC in the 1980s. I put this together when I was in college and just getting back into modeling. I was a little green, learning some new techniques. You'll see that there's a lot of dry brushing. The paint scheme was derived from Frank Miller's Dark Knight. There's a lot of gray and a lot of black. Here's a close-up of the model. You'll notice there's a bit of a glossy look. I used gloss paint to highlight the flat colors. This is one of the things I'd do differently if I were to do this all again. But overall, I was very satisfied with the results. This is the Aurora Dracula, another kit that was reissued by Monogram during the 1980s. This also dates to when I was in college. I've repainted it a few times. Originally, it had a human flesh tone. I repainted it kind of a monster blue. There's a custom base here. I wanted it to look a little fancier than the base that it came with. I might do this a little differently someday too. Here's a Dalek model from Comet Miniatures in England. It's based on the long-running series Doctor Who. It's a fairly easy kit to build except for the midsection, which featured a nylon netting. You couldn't attach it to the styrene model very well, so I ultimately used contact cement. It's an accurate kit, very faithful to the series, and was fun to build once I got past that midsection. This is Maria from Fritz Lang's classic movie Metropolis, one of my all-time favorite science fiction movies. The kit's produced by Amazing Figures magazine. They produce a number of cool resin kits. Nosferatu, London After Midnight. As you can see, it's a beautiful kit. The base was a little difficult. The molding and sculpt is a little bit uneven. There's lots of dry brushing and washes going on here. The base is painted gold with black washes. The figure is painted black and then dry brushed with silver to bring out the effect I wanted. Here you see the Polar Lights reissue of Aurora's classic Godzilla kit. I'm very proud of this model. It took a silver medal at the 2001 Atlanta Sci-Fi Model Show. It's built pretty much out of the box. I worked pretty hard to cover up all the seams using a acrylic paste. There's a lot of dry brushing and washes going on here to achieve the texture of his skin. Here you see another Aurora Godzilla. You'll notice it's a little bit different. It features a replacement head produced by my friend Tom Parker. You'll note that it's more realistic and faithful to Godzilla as he appeared in the movies. When Polar Lights reissued this Godzilla kit, they also reissued the Monsters of the Movies Ghidorah and Rodan kits. I decided to customize the base so that it matched the Monsters of the Movies bases. You'll see there's a Monsters of the Movies Godzilla nameplate that I've added, scratch built. Notice the plumes of smoke coming out of the buildings. This was done with cotton, highlighted with a little bit of gray and red and yellow paints to look like flames and smoke. And here's a close-up of the replacement head, where you can see Godzilla munching on the train car. When I was building this model, my son Christopher found my old original Godzilla that I built when I was a kid. He came running out with it and he said, "Daddy, you didn't do a very good job of building this when you were a little boy." Finally, last but not least, my classic Enterprise model. This is built using Ertl's 22-inch cutaway kit. I've made it more accurate using parts produced by Don Matthews and decals produced by Web Games. It also features internal lighting, and the lights in the nacelles rotate, or appear to rotate. Here's another angle of the ship. I wasn't totally satisfied with the way this turned out, and one of these days I'm going to rebuild it and give it a nicer paint job and stronger construction.